All right, so today we are going to talk about probably one of the most requested products in the mobility aid category, and that is a two-wheeled standard walker. So when you get them out of the box, they look just like this, folded flat with the feet kind of separate. So you're going to start by unfolding it, which is simply pulling each arm out until you hear the click. These push buttons should lock into position. You shouldn't see any movement here anymore because it's locked up, and when you want to fold it back up again, you simply press down on these buttons and it'll fold. So it's a very easy design. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put on the wheels and the feet. Now, you have some choices here. You can set it for the height now, or you can get those feet and wheels on, bring it to the individual, and set the height later. So we're going to do it that way. We're just going to pop on the feet with our best guess, and then we'll adjust it in a little bit. So what we're going to do is start with the front wheels, and a little insider tip is that the front wheels are typically placed, I don't want that rolling off onto the floor and making a loud noise. This wheel can go out like this, or if you're working in spaces with really tight doorways, you can actually mount it so that the wheel, and it has to go onto the different, you have to mount it to the opposite side if you do this because there's only holes on one side. The wheel can go inside. So it's really dependent on the space. That's a nice little space-saving tip. Wheels inside if you're in tight space, wheels outside for standard assembly. So we're going to go with standard assembly today. And you're simply going to set it down and on, and you're going to see that there's little holes. And I know I'm not particularly tall, so we're going to start somewhere in the middle as my best guess for the height. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. If it seems a little sticky when you're getting it on, just give it a little turn. There's a little locking mechanism that can make it feel a little bit tight. Look at the numbers. There's numbers on the side, and line them up so that they're the same. 4, okay? And then you're going to put the back legs on the same way. Now, these back legs have a smooth, flat surface to allow them to glide on most surfaces, so that should be sufficient for most users. So we're going to do the same system here. We're going to go down to the number 4. And again, this is very easy to adjust. You do not want these to be different lengths. We don't want it taller in the front or taller in the back. That's going to impact the stabilization. Just like that. So now we're going to flip it over. And when we set the height, what we really want to do is set the wrist down at the side of the user so that their wrist bone is relaxed and down, their shoulders are back, and they're going to step into the walker, and you want that wrist bone, ooh, I made a pretty good guess here, you want that wrist bone to hit at the walker handle. If the wrist bone is above or below the handle, you may need to adjust the walker taller or shorter. The key is when they put their hands on the handle like this, they should have a comfortable 20 to 30 degree bend in both elbows. That allows you to push through the walker without having your elbows locked into extension, as that is an uncomfortable position for most people to sustain for long movements. It's bad for the joint. So we really want that little bit of bend there just to kind of give you the maximum support. The other thing you want to encourage is that the individual, when they're using the walker, is standing inside the frame. In order to maximize the benefit of a two-wheeled walker setup, you want to use this frame as your support system. Most users, when they first try, they may stand a little bit behind the frame as they progress it forward. There are wheels on this, so it will move fairly easily. But it is important to encourage the individual to stay inside the frame and move it little bits at a time. Who really benefits from this style of walker is an individual who needs that extra support. This is going to give you a lot more support than a cane will, as you have this frame to work within. But it's also going to give the user a good deal of mobility because it has wheels. The wheels allow you to push the walker forward and stay inside the frame and not have to lift the walker in between steps. So it's a much more lightweight function. So an individual who maybe has a little bit of a weaker upper body and is walking versus somebody who is using like it for non-weight bearing precautions to manage that, this may have too much mobility for that user. So if you have somebody with a lot of pain, weakness, perhaps they have some edema or neuropathy, and they just want to take a little pressure off their feet while they're walking, this is a fantastic option. All right, so there you have it, the standard two-wheeled walker, a fantastic mobility solution.